Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Zuri Reed about National Treasure Edge of History, premiering on Disney Plus December 14th. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, sir.
This is so exciting. It's right around the corner. Like, it's amazing. I remember when this was announced, and now it's finally coming out. Like, it's so...
Me too, yes. I remember when I was first auditioning for it. So yeah, it's been a long time coming.
We'll get into the show and your character. Storytelling, acting, did that start kind of at a young age for you? Like, how did you get into that specifically?
It sure did. I was always that like really dramatic kid. Mm-hmm. And my mom saw that in me. And one day, well, you know, I had all of like the leads in my school plays and my church plays. And then one day my mom drove me to New York from Philly, where I'm from, to the Lion King on Broadway auditions. It was just like an open call. It was kind of like a shot in the dark. There were almost 700 kids out there. And some way, somehow they chose me. Out of all of those people, which was crazy. And it kind of like jump-started my career. And here we are.
Here we are. And it's interesting because I feel like there's familiar territory and unfamiliar territory with this project, specifically Edge of History, National Treasure Edge of History, because, you know, it is this kind of big universe now where there was the film and now the show. So like people know like the movie, but people don't really know the show and what to expect with the show. Like, what is that like being like part of this universe, so to speak, Zuri, knowing that there's like familiar territory and unfamiliar territory? I'm curious about that.
It's really interesting. I think while the show definitely has a lot to do with the films, we pull a lot from there, lots of the same characters, and just like the overall theme, I think remains solid. Yeah. Since we have the same writers and producers, you know. However, because it follows a new group of people and we're younger, we are more diverse and we live in a different place. We're in a different time. Like this is 20 years later, basically, you know. So we have access to new things and devices and technology and just stuff that they didn't quite have back then. Yeah. So there is that new aspect to it. Which can be like a little, I don't know. I think it's great. So hopefully the world thinks that.
You're making me feel very old now because I'm realizing the first National Treasure came out quite a bit ago. And
yeah, it was some time ago. And, you know, it was time for a new depiction.
But I feel like there's a lot at play with this series. So I'm just curious, like when you're officially kind of cast, like you're past the auditions, you're past the callbacks, you're going to play this character. Is the mindset a combination of a lot of different things? The adventure component, the fact that it's a continuation of the movie, like what is the specific kind of mindset?
Absolutely. You know, for my character specifically, Tasha is very, very smart. She runs a big online platform where she schools her audience on internet privacy and like how to keep the government out of your business. Yeah. And she is very, very fast with hacking and cracking codes to whereas I don't really have that knowledge. That's not like I'm an actor. She is this brain. So tapping into her, it took a lot of dictionary work, lots of YouTube university work, and you know, just the overall theme. I watched the movies a bunch of times just to get into that mindset. You know,
it's a lot. It's going to be a lot to get into that mindset.
Absolutely,
which is awesome. There's a lot of different things that we get to watch TV-wise, movie-wise these days. There's so much content. There's that content that, you know, you come home from a late day, like a tough day at work, and you just get a piece of pizza, you just watch something and you're on your phone. I don't think this is the show for this. This is a show for the family to watch, but this is a show where you really have to pay attention, but also
yeah.
you're on the edge of your seat. So what is that like working on a show specifically where you need the audience to be like an active member? You know what I mean by that?
It's really cool. It's something very different for me. This is my first action project. So it is very different. Whereas my last few roles were more lighthearted and funny. Whereas this is like action, drama. There's something happening. There's stuff coming at you. Like it's very fast paced. So to work on this project and to have this audience, I don't know really what to expect. I hope that they understand what is happening and what the takeaway is. I hope that they can grasp that, you know?
Do you think about the fact that, because I watched the first 2 episodes and it obviously has that clear cut like adventure component, like it does have that, and the fast pace, the high octane, absolutely, but it's funny at times. It's got some moments where it's very heartfelt. It's got the drama. It's got the it's got like the genre bending components a little bit too, right?
Yeah, but you know what? That to me, that was also some of the recurring themes in the films. It was very funny. Justin Bartha is hilarious, you know, and Nick had a bunch of like funny stuff. And, you know, I think we kept the great stuff about the films and connected it with what we brought new to the table and just made a great combination of those.
I do want to get back to your character because I feel like this is a character where there is kind of a lot happening, like you said, kind of the brains component and everything. And she's put in like situations sometimes where it's like, all right, let's go, let's figure it out. You know what I mean? Everything. What is the thing you like the most about this character specifically? You touched on it a little bit in the beginning of the interview, but like, is there anything else specifically besides kind of the brains component that you enjoy?
I love Tasha so much. Well, outside of the brains, then let's just talk about how great of a friend she is. Like Tasha and Jess have a lot of different opinions about the government and the FBI, and like their whole stance on that matter is completely different.
Yeah.
And Tasha is very, very vocal about it not being her cup of tea per se. But the way that she's able to put that aside for the bigger picture and to help her girl is just something that I think is so dope, you know?
Oh, absolutely. No, it's amazing as well. Do you notice, like, it's interesting because you talk about that friendship, but there is that kind of not awkwardness, but that like they have different views on certain things and everything. Like, do you notice the complexity of a lot of these like relationships and friendships like in the script like immediately, or do you kind of notice it more when you start kind of filming it specifically?
That's a great question. Yeah. Well, you know, obviously we had character breakdowns during the audition process, and we know like what the character is supposed to be on paper, but when you're there and on set and you have this idea, our writers were very, very open to us like tweaking things and having those conversations if we felt like our character would do this instead of this, or you know, say this instead of that. So I think it was a lot of learning as it went on. Like, oh, so Ethan is really like this, even though it says that. Got it. Oh, okay. Liam is this way, you know?
Well, I feel like from an actor perspective, Zuri, it's so interesting and fascinating to see that kind of journey of seeing it like on the script and being kind of transformed onto the screen. Like even when you're at Video Village, a playback, I feel like that is just a crazy thing on its own, right?
Yeah. No, it's totally different. It really is. Like reading something versus being in something and like seeing it now, like post production, it's crazy that we came from the script to what you guys will see December 14th on Disney Plus.
The plug, absolutely. Got a plug all the time. Getting back, you're doing the job for me. This is great.
December 14th,
December 14th. This is kind of like an extension of one of my first questions in the interview about being part of the National Treasure universe. If we break this down a little bit more general, you are part of the Disney Plus universe, which is a pretty fun universe to be part of.
So amazing. Yeah, it's so cool.
What's that like?
I'm telling you, I was such a Disney kid growing up. My favorite shows were That's So Raven. I loved Even Stevens. Like I was Lizzie McGuire. I absolutely loved Disney. So to be a part of this amazing franchise, like, are you kidding me? It is absolutely a dream come true. It's very much full circle.
Yeah.
Raven was one of my, like, I just thought she was everything when I was a kid. And we got a chance to meet at D23. She introduced us on the stage, and I could have cried. Like, it was really, really nice. Yeah,
it's so crazy. You know, it's interesting you mentioned D23, because this is also my next question. And we talked, like, at the beginning of the interview as well, we talked about, like, you remember when you, like, auditioned, you know what I mean? Now it's coming out. Are you getting used? I mean, I feel like now you're prepared, because this has just been massive. There's these, like, these steps of, like, a show getting, like, disseminated into the world, right? There's, like, it's announced, the cast is announced, first look photos, teaser, trailer, D23, press. Like, now I feel like you're prepared for anything.
It was so much. It really, really was. And still is, you know, our premiere is coming up. There's lots of stuff, lots of great stuff though. Happening.
Absolutely.
This is a lot of our first time being with a production from pre, like throughout the entire thing. So it's so cool to be able to just be a part. Truly, it just makes you feel even more like family, and you take the project so personally, because, like, it's your baby, you know? We have raised it, and now it's about to be for the world to see.
You established in this interview how you got into storytelling. What is the best thing about being a storyteller?
What's the best thing? Oh my gosh, such a hard question. When I tell you, I literally love everything about it. I love to be able to jump out of Zuri and jump into Tasha.
Yeah.
I mean,
who you can see on National Treasure Edge of History, December 14th on Disney Plus.
plug. Yeah. It's such an honor, you know, and I think that it just helps to make it just more fun. Like, who doesn't want to not take themselves seriously today? Like, okay, well, let me be this person today, or that person next week, you know? Absolutely.
No, for sure. Zuri, thanks so much for joining me on Pop Turtle. It was so great chatting with you.
Yeah, this was awesome.
National Treasure Edge of History, December 14th, first 2 episodes on Disney Plus. Is your Instagram account just your name, Zuri Reed?
Zuri.Reed, absolutely.
Perfect, so they can check that out as well. Well, this has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative. For previous episodes, you're going to be able to catch Zuri Reed as Tasha in National Treasure Edge of History, premiering on Disney Plus December 14th. Until next time, this is Zuri and PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popturnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.